One of the biggest things that helped me when it comes to staying away from doom scrolling and video games and binge watching and like digital addictions in general is actually my sleep, right? So fixing my sleep actually had a huge impact on my screen time and the way that I was consuming content and stuff. Um, because I was usually just waking up, let's say on a weekend especially, I would wake up, I'd slept late, so I woke up late. I was groggy, I was fucking sluggish, I was lethargic. So I just woke up, grabbed my fucking phone, started scrolling on bullshit, and I'd be stuck in bed for like 2 hours or some shit. I'd get out of bed like 12 or 1 p.m. or some unacceptable at some unacceptable time like that. Unacceptable, sorry. And I want to provide you with some tips that actually improved my sleep, and hopefully you can use this to get a better start to your day and a better finish to your day, so that you get momentum throughout your day. You don't fall into addiction like digital, tech. You don't start consuming right away or some shit like that. You build up positive momentum. You stay away from these vices early in the day, and then you can keep going throughout the day. Because in general, it's harder to start something than it is to keep going. You know, it's very easy to maintain muscle. You only have to do like basically one really hard set of bicep curls every week to maintain your size, but to grow them, it's probably more like 10. So yeah, let me just give you some practical tactics. So the first one, and kind of most fundamental one, is to have a consistent sleep schedule. So to wake up and to go to bed at the same times every single day, without fail, without not going to bed fucking later on weekends or waking up later, anything like that. Weekends aren't a thing. They haven't been a thing for, I think they've been a thing for about 100 years, since the feminism and all the, like, in the 1900s, when people became fucking slaves and everything. That was probably in like the 1800s, let's say 200 years or some shit. But basically throughout the entirety of the human, like since the dawn of human time, as Tate says it, since the dawn of human time, humans haven't, our bodies aren't adapted or wired or biologically designed to, like, for weekends, fuck, sorry, weekends aren't actually a thing. There's a modern construct to support the 9 to 5 system and everything like that, like we want to avoid, that, obviously. So and the reason that this is the first thing that I mentioned is that it's gonna be a lot harder to implement the others unless you have a set, like, kind of set routine. If you wake up a lot later, then you have this other obligation, that, oh man, I can't do the, it's just a lot easier if you go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day. And also, like, a lot of, like, the science points out to the fact that your sleep quality is generally like so much better if you have a consistent time than just let's say if you wake up at or let's say you go to bed at 9 one day and you go to bed at 12 or 11 another day. Let's say you do that 2 3 times a week each, or something like that, 3 4 days a week. That's actually, like, it's so bad for your sleep. You might not even realize this. I didn't realize this for a long time. Basically, it's only been about the last month that I've really been nailing this. Before that, was like a half an hour to 45-minute gap, like, what is it called, like, spectrum or whatever the fuck. Like, basically, I would wake up, or I'd go to bed at 9:30, or let's say 10 or 9:50 or something like that, in like a time span of, let's say, 30 to 45 minutes. But nowadays it's more like 15, which seems a lot more healthy and acceptable, according to the science stuff. I don't know too much about it, but it's works very well for me, right? So let me get into some more straight specific tactics. The first one is to have blackout curtains in your room. So basically, big black curtains, BBC, BBC, fucking, fuck that shit. You have blackout curtains in your room. You lay them on top of your window, basically, and you draw them so that no light comes into your room. You know, I've always found it hard to sleep when there was light in my room, especially like, um, you know, with normal curtains, you have like the gap, like the space on the sides of the curtains where the light can come in, and it kind of creates this sharpness in the light, which I just found really, um, really annoying. Like I could probably sleep better like in this kind of environment, in this lighting, than I could if if it was kind of dark, but at some there there was like you know, a few spots, a few really bright spots of light in the room, because it just adds contrasts and stuff. And personally, I just find it more annoying. So I really like using blackout curtains for that reason, to like, because it's a big kind of like screen thing, so it blocks all the light from the windows really. And so yeah, that's the first one. And then the second tip that I want to provide you with is um, to read before bed, right? So I read every single night before bed for about 30 minutes, and I at that time I also lower the brightness in my room. I turn off the lamps. I only have like um, one, maybe one light on in my room, and that's like at the desk where I'm reading. And on top of this, I also, on my computer screen at nighttime, I I put on a night filter. So basically, the blue light is blocked. You probably heard about blue light and stuff on the internet, that it's bad for your sleep. You shouldn't be getting blue light into your eyes just before going to bed. And basically, I have a, you can go search up Flux blue light filter, or just like Flux light filter or something like that, Flux filter, and it'll come up. You can download the app on your computer, and it allows you to make your to like swipe a little thing and make your whole screen orange to like the other side of the light spectrum. Here you have blue, which is super destructive for your sleep. It's basically what you want to have when you wake up. Like, you want to instantly get a lot of blue light into your eyes because it wakes you up. You know, that's the effect that it has. And on the other side, it is like red, orange kind of sort of light, and it makes you more sleepy. It's a lot better for sleep in general. So I have that, and it works very well. Like, my eyes kind of get tired. I get used to, like, I get into more of a sleepy mode. You know, it's just wonderful in my opinion. And then also, something I like to do. I haven't actually experienced this problem a lot recently, but I have done it a lot in the past, and it might help you to like, if I can mention it to you. And it is to simply open your window, like, let's say an hour before you go to bed, so that fresh, cold air can enter your room, so that it's easier to fall asleep. Like, you probably had some time when you were just tossing and turning in bed because it was just so hot in your room. Perhaps it was humid, perhaps you were in a tropical country or something. Like, I remember once when I was in Spain, and it was just it was super hot. I couldn't sleep. It was a fucking nightmare, man. It's so annoying when that shit happens. So if you experience that problem, you can just open your window a bit before going to bed. If you live in a tropical country in general, like if you live in Spain or some shit, then it might not be this might not be totally like useful for you, but you know, if it is, you can just try it, you know. um, and then also, one thing I like to do to kind of mitigate the sound that I like in the house, because I live with my parents, right, and my big brother, and they go to bed later than I do. And what I do to mitigate the sound that I hear when I'm going to bed, which I obviously want to do, is first of all to just tell them that I'm going to bed, so that they're more mindful of their, like, what noises they make, so that they don't like scramble with the dishes, um, you know, a lot and stuff. Especially because in my house, it's kind of I'm not sure what the word is called in English, but basically it's like sounds travel a lot, or perhaps that's not the right wording, but basically, if my dad is watching the TV upstairs and I'm sleeping downstairs in my room, I'm gonna hear every single word that the TV is saying, you know. So that's kind of a bit annoying. So, but I just make sure I tell them that I go to sleep, and it's usually better. Like, they usually don't make as much noise or anything like that, if when I do that. And then also, another thing that I've added recently that I absolutely want to provide you with. I haven't heard really anyone talk about this, but basic, at least not in this context. But one thing that I've done recently is to put on some like really calm, like ambient music as I'm going to sleep. I listen to something called 432 hertz music, which is just another frequency on the music spectrum, which is a lot more like harmonious and peaceful and natural for the human body than normal music, which is 440 hertz. By the way, that's it's a fucking psyop from the Matrix, but that's a separate point. I'll get into that at some other time. But I have two big like speakers in my room, and I just go onto my phone, connect it to the speakers, and I put on this music, 432 hertz music. You can search on YouTube. It's like this really calm. There's no drums or no vocals, no nothing. There's not even like an instrument basically. I'm not even sure what the sounds actually are. The only real word that I know is ambience. So if you know what that means, you can probably guess. If not, you can just go search it up and see for yourself. But basically, there's no drums. There's no. There's nothing like that, you know, as it is in normal music. Like it's basically not music. It's just sounds that make it easier to fall asleep. And the reason that they do that is because of, like, if let's say if someone closes or like shuts or slams a door upstairs in the house, and I'm going to sleep downstairs, then the sound of the ambience music of the 432 hertz music is gonna act sort of as a blocker, as a shield for that. You know, when you have this baseline of sound in your environment, other like sharper sounds like someone shutting a door, or if some motherfucker is like putting some some forks or some knives or some plates into the dishes, and it kind of like scrambles a bit and like slams and just makes all these noises, then it's gonna be mitigated when you have like this sort of barrier of sound around you. You can just try it for yourself, man. It's worked wonderfully for me, and yeah, man, that's really all the things that I do right now that I've that really have improved my sleep. I have in the past like eaten a pinch of salt before I go to bed, because it basically makes you less likely to wake up and have to pee during like at night. Which, to be honest, I might start doing again, because recently, the last few weeks, I've been doing that more. I've been waking up more throughout the night sporadically. So yeah, I might start doing that, to be honest. But yeah, man, that's really all I had for this video, man. I hope you found it useful. If you want more help with like breaking digital addiction, getting away from like distractions like doom scrolling and binge watching YouTube or Netflix or some shit, or playing video games, you can check out the link in the description. But yeah, man, I'll catch you on the next one. See you.